Hi crafty friends, thank you for stopping by today. I have a Reader's Digest bestseller on my desk, is what it says, from Reader's Digest, condensed books, still watch, and that's about all I can read of it. First thing I want to do is get some wet wipes and wipe the book off, so 1 second. These aren't very wet. Hopefully it works. Look like there was gunky on there. Okay. The back spine is so worn that you can't really read very well what it says. Take some of this off the spine here. I thought this book was really neat, the color and the swirls. So the first thing that we're going to do to make this a junk journal is we are going to get my blade, and this one will work. And I want to keep this first page, so what I did was I separate the page that I want to keep from the rest of the book. And you can see the binding back in there. And then what I'll do is I'll show you how I did it on the back side. Make sure that you've got just the last page and the next to the last page, and you're kind of just peeling them apart. Oh, it came out. No, it's still attached. Okay. That page came out. And you're just pulling, trying to get that separated. See how that just separated for me? Okay, then you're going to take your blade and you're going to pull the center out. Like I can get my finger down in there. You don't want to leave your finger in there, but I can get my finger down in there. And then I'm going to just slice through that binding. And if you do it slowly, you don't want to cut this binding here, or this spine right there. So you want to be real careful. Slice towards the book. And you want to just take your time. I might start from this side now. Okay. And you just want to take your time, because if you're not careful, you'll cut the spine, and you don't want to do that. Okay, we don't want to cut this green page. And then if you notice, there's just that binding that's holding it together. And you're going to take your blade and you're going to go down the side of that. What's the book part of it, the reading part of it. And I've almost got it cut through. Just watch your fingers. I do not recommend that you let children do this part. If you're making a junk journal, please have it an adult. Use the blade. Do not use the blade if you're a child. So now we have this page, the spine, and this page. And then we have the book part. What I've got here is some cardboard. Oh, before I forget, I will measure. The spine measures right under an inch, right at an inch. The book itself is 5.5 by just under 7 3/4. So there's that. Then I want to take the cardboard and you're going to measure the cardboard for the inside of the spine, because this is a little taller on this side and this side. You want to even this up. So that's what you're using the cardboard for. Alright, so what I need to do first, grab a pencil or a pen. Of course, I won't be able to find one now. There's a pencil. Okay, and I'm going to mark it just a little smaller than the book binding, than the cover. I'm going to get out my handy dandy cutter. At just under an inch. That's what we said earlier it was. So we're going to go just under an inch. Let's go with this side. Okay, it's only going to go so far down. Try this again. I think the blade's just dull. There we go. Slide the blade back in. Move the cardboard off to the side. Check. And there. Now we've got a good spine. It's not very big. It's only an inch. But we've got a nice spine there. And I'm going to get out my Fabri-Tac. And I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac down the spine of the book. And like always, I use my finger to smear it out. You do it how you want. And then I get my towel. Okay, and then we're going to slide this down inside there, because we want it to fit right down in that spine. Too far to one side and the book won't gather right, close right. That's what I want to say. So we've got that. We're going to give this a second to dry. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little material just over this spine here. So I think this is pretty unevenly cut. So I think if I go right here, see if that'll rip. And it does. Sorry if my hand was the only thing in the way. So we've got that, and then I want to go about an inch. So we'll go right there and rip it again. And it's up to you if you like the strings or don't like the strings. I personally think that the frayed edge looks nice. Kind of gives life to the junk journal. Okay, take my clips off. Try to keep my head out of the way. Okay. And I'm going to grab my other scissors because they're material scissors. And they work a little bit better. Okay. Use my Fabri-Tac. And this is just how you want to do it. This is just one idea, one way. There's lots of ways to go about making a junk journal out of a Reader's Digest book. So don't feel that you have to go with the way I'm doing it. But this is just one way you can do it. And I'm going to set that in there like that. Try to keep it as even as possible so there's as much on each side. Clean my hands off. I need a bone folder, and I'm just gonna try to easily go down the crease. Put that material down in the crease of that book. Same with this side. You might have to lift up this side a little bit. It's not wanting to go down in there, like there's not enough glue or something. So we will put some more glue there. Now try it. There we go. Spread out the glue. Okay. And this needs cut just a little bit so it's the size of the book and not over. Same with this side. 1 second, I dropped my towel. Okay, and then we want to take this side and cut just a little off so it's even. Here we go. We got it. Okay, and it's drying. And we are going to take the book part and grab a page off of it. And we are going to take, we're going to set this off to the side because it's kind of in the way. It'll just dry for a little bit. And then we're going to take 1 inch of this page. And we're gonna fold it. You want to fold it so it's in thirds. So we fold one side to the center. Let's make a center line. Okay. there's that. And then you want to fold the outside edge into the center line. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to mark the center line so I can see it better. Okay, and then that way I have a guide to go down. And then I just rip the paper a little bit. We don't want to do that. I guess if your paper is really fragile, you might want to just get some copy paper or a piece of paper out of your trash, because this is just going to show us where to put our binding on our spine. Okay, and grab a ruler. Okay. And you don't have to, but it's just easier if you draw a line so you can see where your crease is. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, so you should have 3 lines on there. We're going to fold this over, fold this over. And then we're going to fold it in half, and you want to keep everything together. Fold it in half. And then fold it in half again. I hope I wasn't out of camera. There we go. So we've got it folded in half again. So we open it up. Want that to be a little more straight. You want the creases to be really definitely seen. Okay, so then we open it up and mark where the folds are. Okay, one fold is here. Okay, one fold is here. Okay, and then on the other side, one fold is here. All right, I am going to look for a marker just because this will make us easier, and hopefully you'll be able to see it easier. But we are going to go here and here and here and here and here and here with our spine. That's where we're going to put the needle marks for our spine. Even it up, and I'm evening the book page with the pages that we left in there. And then you want to clip that in. You don't want it moving around, so clip it in so it's secure. And you know what? We don't want this to stick to the glue. So I'm going to end this video here and make a sequel to it, so that way we can go through and do our spine and tie it off with our wax thread. And I'll show you how to do the pages that we add into it. So I will be back. Thank you for stopping by today. As always, it was great crafting with you. Please comment, like, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm of my channel. Hugs.